G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here with call it a review of the YouTube title nested search engine ambush, which you're going to find under the word SunFoil. I had a bit of a go at that today. I've never really sat down with a pencil and paper and tried it before, but if you search SunFoil, lowercase, one word, on the YouTube search engine, I found that I've put up 95 movies with the word SunFoil in the title. That's on the first 20 pages, or out of the first 200 search replies, 95 of them are mine. There are another 12 movies put up by 2 other people talking about my SunFoil project, but yeah, 95 movies in 14 months. The reason I actually sat down and did the search today was because the first movie which I made for YouTube, which my daughter hosted on Bulb Powder channel, it hit 2,001 views today. It was 1,920 yesterday, and yeah, 2,001 views of my movie on my daughter's channel. Same movie with a slightly different title on my channel's got 559 views. So 2,500 views of my first movie. I'm pretty pleased with that, you know, it's a nice little boost to the ego. Those 95 movies that I've put up there, between them, 10,984 movie views as of this morning, and at the rate that it's going up, yeah, the SunFoil movies punched through 11,000 movie views today. Let me see, 29th of July 2012, 57,626 views at my channel. And here's another reason for making a bit of a SunFoil Global do-it-yourself project review. Today I went to 333 subscribers. Who would have thought of it? A hermit, a hillbilly, a mad scientist, a fool on the hill, with no computer, but a mobile phone that's pumped out 486 movies in 14 months. And there are people who are actually paying attention to the stage where they're copying my work. Dave Zacht is getting really good results with his 20-watt panel on the Ford Explorer. His initial idea for an upgrade was to get a second 20-watt panel and put them side by side on the Explorer. That's slightly been modified. He's going to put the 20-watt original panel on his daughter's little 4-cylinder Barina style of a car, but he hasn't got the car yet. And he's going to measure his car according to my formula, as outlined on SunFoil Short Talk, and he's going to fit a slightly oversized panel according to my formula. So he's pretty happy. Yesterday I got a personal message from Hatomarif, who at one point infuriated me by suggesting in the thread that my fuel distance recordings must be, quote, wishful thinking. He's done the turnaround to the stage where he tells me he's got a 15-watt solar panel in the sunroof on his vehicle. He's planning on a larger solar panel to fit to the vehicle. And best of the lot, Hatomarif, who spends his work days designing experiments to test military electronics, which could mean anything. You know, he might be the head of DARPA and he might be a hacker in a basement. Either one of them designs experiments to test military electronic circuits. But anyway, Hatomarif, who used to be one of the skeptics and naysayers, the people who doubted that SunFoil was real, he's been working with a person that I consider to be probably the greatest debunker troll on YouTube, a fella called Knowledge Monger. Small k, one word, lowercase. Knowledge Monger, he sort of lurks on a site run by Walkabout 16. It's a magnetic motor electric generator site, and when well-intentioned hopefuls show up there thinking that it's real, knowledge monger explains to them in brilliant scientific, physical, chemical, electrical engineering terms how and why it's a dud. You know, the magnetic motor electric generator free energy machine is not real. So I invited Knowledge Monger to come over and you know, debunk the SunFoil, and after a couple of weeks he said, oh look, it seems there's no bullshit in this, you know. It probably works. Whether it works half as well, just as well, or twice as well as you say it does, I can't tell you because the variables are too great, but it definitely works. And therefore it's not interesting to me. No bullshit to debunk, so Knowledge Monger went away. But Hitomarif and Knowledge Monger are now collaborating, working out some circuitry so that they can use a car's existing alternator as a motor generator for regenerative braking. And I wish them well with that. It's going to take some interesting engineering changes to the vehicle, and if it works, it'll work well. And I contend that it already happens because most people's batteries are permanently part flat, so the alternator's permanently working. And as soon as you take your foot off the throttle, the car's rolling kinetic energy is being braked by the electrical resistance of the alternator feeding the partially flat battery transmitted to the crankshaft through the drive belt. So you've pretty much permanently got regenerative braking going on the existing fleet because the batteries are always flat. And the always flat batteries are always sucking on the alternator via the regulator, which is voltage dominant. That's just how it goes. So anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy. What else is going on? The Dark J is going to build a panel for a friend of his. Wake Up Ov, haven't heard from him for a while, but the United States has been having some pretty wild weather, so maybe his internet's down, maybe his power's down, but yeah, Wake Up Ov, he's been trying to source the exact same panel as I've got. Whether you can get Shurjo gallium arsenide panels assembled in India in the United States, I don't know. He might have some problems with that one. Paul Chisholm, he's planning a small panel for his car. All in all, it's coming along pretty well. There's a bunch of people around the world who I regard as metastatic centres for the SunFoil. If I'm, you know, an original carcinoma and Precise Bible is an original carcinoma, we're now working together and throwing metastatic sites. And as people watch their next door neighbours put solar panels on their cars, they're going to ask questions and it's going to be explained to them, and they'll all be referred to type SunFoil into the YouTube search engine and have a look at the movies. And at some point it's going to go viral, and I really look forward to the day when every car I see on the highway has a SunFoil. Yeah, it's a do-it-yourself, save-the-world project. And that can't be at all bad. Got a couple of minutes of film time left on this clip, so I'll share with you the current state-of-the-art of my analysis of the Mark III SunFoil on my car. Speaking only about cruising speeds of 100 kilometres an hour, because that's what's legal in this country. No point talking about really what happens over that speed. If we get time, I'll whisper about it. Cruising at 100 kilometres per hour, 75% of my driving. The remaining 25% consisting of 20% in town at 50 k's, 5% off-road in four-wheel drive. 4 years ago, my monthly fuel burn was 8 kilometres to the litre. With the Mark III on the roof, cruising at 100 kilometres an hour, my fuel burn is now 10.66 kilometres to the litre. So I'm going an extra 2.66 kilometres per litre. 2.66 kilometres as a fraction of the 8 kilometres I used to go. It's 33.25%. Okay, I have made my vehicle 33.25% more fuel efficient at my standard driving regime. Does this mean I'm driving a 33% hybrid? No. I'm going 10.66 kilometres per litre at the moment. 2.66 kilometres of that 10.66 is absolutely 100% free due to the SunFoil. If I didn't have the SunFoil, I wouldn't go that extra distance. The extra distance is 24.985% of the distance I'm driving. So you might as well say, as near as damn is to swearing, I've improved my fuel efficiency by 1/3, and I am now driving a 25% piston, solar, hybrid, retrofitted hillbilly. Yeah? You might as well call it a hillbilly hybrid as a SunFoil retrofit. Either term, whatever works for you. Oh, bigorra, look at that, we got some extra time. So, if you push my car from 100 kilometres an hour, right, which is 62.13 miles per hour, if you push it up to 105 kilometres an hour, that's 105 kilometres per hour, from metric, and we're looking for miles to the kilometres, 65.24 miles per hour, minus our 62.13, so we get to go an extra 3.115759 miles per hour. Why does any of that matter? Well, I'll tell you why it matters. It matters because the fuel burn goes up by 4.5%, the speed goes up by 5%, and between 60 miles an hour and 70 miles an hour there's an aerodynamic drag spike where a motor car doubles its aerodynamic drag across that 20 mile per hour window. So each mile per hour I should in theory be incurring a 2.5% rise in fuel burn, but I'm not. I'm going up 5% in speed and I'm only rising 4.5% in terms of fuel burn. This is due entirely to the cleverness of my aerodynamics, right? The aerodynamic effect of the downwash of the SunFoil is to stick the slipstream of the car onto the back window, so that instead of having to burn 3.115759 times 2.5, instead of having to burn 7.789% more fuel to get 5% more speed, I'm only burning 4.5%. So, minus 4.5 equals, that's an extra 3.28% of a fuel saving owing to the extra speed at which I'm covering the ground. And to achieve that I've had to turn a solar panel not only into a streamlined aerofoil, a faceted aerofoil, it's a ventilated faceted aerofoil, and it's got ram scoop powered boundary layer airflow control. And it bloody works, because according to Wharton's law of SunFoil effectiveness, with my 6.5 minute average engine runtime, I should be only able to save 30% of my fuel burn, and I am saving 33.25%. So 3.25% of the fuel burn must be coming from the aerodynamics, because it cannot be coming from the electrical side of the system. Right? This is why I tell people I'm a time expired low-speed aerodynamics consultant, because I don't get around aerotail launching hang gliders behind ultralights anymore. But yes, I got a very interesting wing thing flying in ground effect on the roof of my car, made out of a solar panel, and it's all good. If you want a fairly detailed explanation for how it's done, search solar thermal ramjet. There's a movie about it. Or search SunFoil Third Prototype Construction. There's a movie about that too. Like I said, there's 95 of them. And as I said here, the only people who are claiming that SunFoils don't work are people who haven't tried the experiment. Everybody who's tried one says it works, and the only reason anybody's ever taken a SunFoil off their car is to fit a bigger one. So I reckon I've just about proved my case. Ciao.